Hello everybody, welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 516, we're going to talk about Rakka Mar. Excuse me. Rakka Mar is a 2/2 haster. Red tap, put a 3/1 elemental creature token with haste into play. I guess this is a character from that story. I'm not sure. I don't know why this would be a legendary ability, but it is, and this is what we're doing. 3/1 elementals. Okay. Well, elementals is how I kind of went with it. I don't know. I didn't really check EDH rec on this one. I just kind of I said, well, I'm elementals. It's mono red elementals. So I guess let's take a look at our ramp first, because Chandra's Firecat, or Embercat rather. I mean, you tap for a red, but you can only use that mana for elementals or Chandras. Okay, you know, it's still ramp, you know. The Bright Hearth Banneret, all your elementals cost one less. Smoke Braider, 2 mana for elementals. But this one actually lets you use the mana to pay for activated abilities of elementals as well. And of course, we got, you know, Iron Mirror, Seer's Lantern, Heraldic Banner. Heraldic Banner in this specific deck, I love, because our 3/1s are now 4/1s, and typically they don't live a long time. And the idea is just to rush with them, you know, rush, rush, rush. And getting that one extra point can matter. Of course, we got the Mana Geyser, because there are times when that's just 5 for 20. Oh, look, it's pick 5. But, and then Young Chandra, you know, I don't know about ramp per se, but minusing to get 2 red, and then your elementals for the +1, so it's not bad. I am running, I guess let's cover the other 2 walkers. OG Chandra Nalar and Jaya Venerated Fire Mage. That way it pumps up your red damage by 1. But let's look at our elementals. It's enough. You know, how are we winning? We are winning with, you know, Magmatic Force. That's an elemental right there. 7/7 for 8 at the beginning of each upkeep, not just yours. Every player's upkeep. We're going to bolt something, right? Just boom. Man, I'd love to give this creature lifelink. War Elemental for a trip red. When damage is dealt to an opponent, put that many 1/1 counters on it. Really good with the previous one. Now, granted, you've got to have dealt damage before you play it. I mean, Magmaw. Sack a non-land permanent to deal a damage. Okay, there are times when you just have trouble dealing that last point of damage. Soul Scourge Elemental, first strike, powers equal number of creatures you control. Okay. Hate Flayer. That crazy untap symbol. Inner Flame Igniter. Fire Servant is a good elemental. Red instant or sorcery would deal damage, double that damage, so that's cool. Skizzik got a reprint in Dominara. I don't know if I've played the new version yet, so Embodiment of Fury. Trample, that's cool. Land creatures you control have trample. That then, of course, whenever a land enters the battlefield, you may have target land you control become 3/3 elemental with haste. You know. Wildfire Elemental. I was really sad this didn't do something with 4 lands. Lavian Brawler, Cinder Pyromancer, Chandra Spitfire. Now this is another, you know, whenever opponent is dealt non-combat damage, it gets +3, and it has flying. So with our Magmatic dude, during our upkeep, he's going to deal 3 to something. And then this is a 4/3. Just off of permanents on the board. Sulfur Elemental is a great, great anti white weenie card. focus, shall we? Okay. Incandescent Soul Stoke. My mouth don't work this morning. Just obviously the elemental champion, Soul Bright Flamekin. Now, Soul Bright Flamekin is really good. What is that? Third time, so 6 gets you 8 once a turn. But you're given 3 things trample on top of that, so it's not just. I mean, it's all upside, right? Heartlash Cinder, Chroma. Chroma. Now they somehow Devotion is way more popular than Chroma, but Ashling the Pilgrim. That's right. You can just mount up counters on her. Why not? Thunderkin Awakener, Kiln Fiend. Instant or sorcery goes bigger. All these are elementals, right? Spark Elemental, Flamekin Harbinger. So, Elemental Tutor. That's not bad. And we're probably tutoring for our last elemental, Hostility. Because let's face it, if a spell you would control would deal damage to an opponent, prevent it, and then you get a 3/1 for each 1 damage prevented. What? So let's look at some damage spells, shall we? These are spells that would deal damage to an opponent. Stuff like Lightning Bolt, or Shock, Rift Bolt, Lightning Strike, Fireball, Beacon of Destruction, Rekindled Flame, right? So those are all good cards in their own right, but once we start cranking out elementals with them, it like triples the damage, so that's pretty sweet. The rest of the damage is all creature based, Flame Slash, Pyroclasm, Dismantle. Well, that's artifact. Shatter, and Fry. What do we got? Now, since we do have... Okay, so we've got, number 1, all of these natural elementals, and then all of these, I guess, artificial, the token elementals. We've got these, so, like I said, they die a lot. They die a whole lot. So Bloodmark Mentor is going to give them all first strike. What they really, really need is first strike. So, now that they've got first strike, we're going to play a Goblin War Drums so that they have to be double blocked. What is that? Menace? No, not Menace. Yeah, it might be Menace. Anyway, your opponent's got to block them 2 for 1. Warlord's Fury is another, your team gains first strike and you get to draw a card off of it. Battle Strain enchantment, so it stays out there. Whenever a creature blocks, its controller just takes a damage. So, and then we've got, we really, really want to get there with these elementals. So we've got, World at War, Savage Beating, Relentless Assault, RAR, multiple combat steps. We're in the Wild Ricochet because, it's a good card. Let's look at Lightning Coils. Whenever a non-token creature you control is put into a graveyard, you put a charge counter on it at the beginning of your upkeep. If it has 5 or more charge counters on it, remove all of them and put that many 3/1 elemental tokens with haste. Yay. But you only get them for 1 turn. Kind of like the elementals off of Force of Rage. So, what's left? Card draw? Well, it's red, so card filter. So we got a Faithless Looting, a Tormenting Voice, a Wild Guess, a Cathartic Reunion, a Thrill of Possibility, and a Risk Factor. Now, like I've said before about Browbeat, I just don't think Browbeat is a commander playable card because it's any opponent or any player. But Risk Factor, you target someone. So you can either A, make a deal, or B, target someone that can't afford to take the damage. So it's a little more useful. You might have to wait for the right opportunity. You can't just run it out there as soon as you get 3 mana. You've got to, analyze the board a little bit. So our non-basic lands, Forgotten Cave, Desert of the Fervent, Teetering Peaks, because, I mean, you know, one of your elementals can be 5 power now. Looming Spires, first strike, huh? And Dormant Volcano. So that's Rakka Mar. I was unsure as to exactly how I was going to build that one. And here's my stack of elementals. So I always like to put the tokens in the deck box with the deck. Just because, I don't know, I think you should have the tokens. You know, it's right there. I think you should have it with the deck. Or I should, anyway. And, you know, as many cards as I consume. Consume. It makes it sound like I eat them. But, I don't know, sometimes. Are we crooked? So, that is Rakka Mar, number 516. Making use of those pink sleeves, ain't I? That is 516. Elementals, you know. She makes elementals. She cares about things like that. So, that's what I've got for today. So, we'll see you tomorrow. But right now, it is time to shuffle and cut.